Forbidden knowledge. Make sure y'all come on in here. Let's go ahead and click that like button and make sure we share this video. It's going to be a great manifestation talk tonight. I'm so looking forward to it. Okay, we just went live on Instagram as well. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get everyone in here and let's make it happen. Let's get the like button clicked right away as soon as you come in. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. All right. Today is going to be a powerful day because I want you to look around. I want you to just really step back and take a look around. And I want you to think, separate yourself from your thoughts. Look at yourself, observe yourself. The money in your account, the people in your life, the stress or the peace that you're feeling, it's all just a mirror. Everything is a mirror. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you believe yourself to be. And this is where a lot of us seem to get lost. I know a lot of people that they're manifesting who they believe themselves to be. But who they believe themselves to be is not really who they actually are. That's the part that they don't get. So tonight's going to be a great talk. We're going to go deep tonight. All right. So make sure y'all click the like button. Shout out to Kima Blue. Luke Palmer's in the house. I just got off the phone with Luke Palmer just a few minutes ago. Great guy. All right. Make sure you guys click that like button and get ready. Because tonight we're talking about a very powerful topic. Because when you were born, you were given a name, a race, and a religion, and you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity. You don't even know who you are. Most people have no clue who the hell they are. When somebody says, "Who are you?" you give them your name. Well, who gave you that name? Did you choose your name inside the womb? Somebody gave you that name. Most of us are walking around with someone else's belief systems because they've been taught to us. They've been forced on us. So your belief systems aren't even yours. And then we've been told that depending on the way that your skin reflects sunlight, you're either this race or that race or this race, all based on the way that your skin reflects sunlight or absorbs sunlight. So we've been given all of this framework, this framework of this archetype of who we are. Except the archetype is extremely flawed. The archetype is extremely inaccurate. You don't really know who you are. And most people don't, so don't take offense to that. This is what we need to work on. We need to find out who we are and how do we really truly find a way to create the frequency that sends a signal into the quantum field, into the quantum mirror that reflects back at us, and it gives us or allows us to attract into our life the things that we desire and the abundance that is really our birthright. A lot of people don't realize that because of the deception that we've been under, extreme deception with the false identity that I talked about, that we've been given, our skewed perception of ourselves gives us a skewed perception of reality. So when we think that we're understanding our life and what's going on in our destiny, the path that we're on it's carved in stone and this is our destiny. We don't realize that's all a fallacy. We don't realize that it's not real. All right? We don't realize that it's someone else's perspective, someone else's vision, someone else's dream, someone else's ideology. And then what happens is we wholeheartedly take that in, we hold it so close to our heart, and we defend it and we fight for it nonstop. But is it really us? Because your identity is not your thoughts. It's basically what shapes your reality. So if you want to find out who you are, for people who are saying, well, how do I find out who I am? I have a very simple task for you. You're going to get a good old fashioned piece of paper, if you still can find a piece of paper in your house, and you're going to go and get a pen. Okay. Actually, I prefer a pencil because you might want to erase a couple of things. I know you probably haven't seen a pencil in several decades, depending on your age. But if you can get a hold of a pencil, that would be great. Maybe you have kids still, they go to school. You need an eraser because that really helps to rearrange things. And then you're going to draw a line down the center of that paper. On the left-hand side of the paper, you're going to begin to write down all of the things that you are interested in, all of the things that you're passionate about, all of the things that you like to do, all of the things that you would actually like to do, even though you can't do them, and things that you do, but you'd like to be able to do them better on the left-hand side of the page, okay? And you're gonna take your time. This is not to do while I'm talking live now, because if you can do it within this short period of time, you're not really trying to find out who you are. This is an off-camera, off-video. You gotta sit down with yourself for about a good 40 minutes or so and just be honest with yourself and write these things in the left column on the left side of that line. And take your time. You'll remember things as you're writing, because one thing will trigger another memory, and another memory will trigger another memory. And before you know it, that left side should have quite a few things in it. Then what's going to happen is you're going to go to the right side of that line, and you're going to scan that left side, and you're going to begin to put those things in the order of the most important to the least important. Even though they're all things that you like, the most important to the least important. You're going to take your time. That's where the pencil eraser comes in hand. You might put something at number 2 or 3 and realize later on, oh, I forgot about this. Put that at number 3 and put the other one down to number 4. Okay? And so you're going to do all of this, and you're going to realize, okay, now I'm creating this imagery, this perception, this understanding of who I really am. And when you get done with this exercise, when you're finished with this exercise, I promise you one amazing thing. You can sit back and look at this piece of paper, and for the first time in most of your lives, you're going to actually know who you are. That paper is a reflection of you. That's who you are. Not the name, not the race, not the religion, not the politics. What's on that paper that came out of your own conscious thought. That's who you are. So you can answer that question. You can answer it yourself by doing that very simple exercise. Okay? You have to remember, it's all about really digging deep. Taking some time with yourself, something that most people just won't do. They'll make up any excuse in the world to not sit with themselves, to think for themselves, and work on themselves. And that's the problem. And this is why a lot of people are suffering with abundance. They get to a plateau and they just kind of get stuck, right? If you still see yourself as broke, unworthy, or stuck, no amount of affirmations is going to override that subconscious programming. The subconscious programming is extremely strong. It literally runs our lives. It's the programming code running on our processor. It's literally creating our reality moment by moment, or we're allowing it, I should say, to create our reality moment by moment, instead of us taking control and reprogramming the subconscious. But you can only do that when you bring awareness. It's about aligning your inner blueprint with your desired outcome. And we all have this blueprint. I remember I did this huge 12-hour class in 2 sessions. It was a total of 24 hours with Dr. B. Sirius. It was called Blueprint for God Power. Some of you in the live chat were probably in some of those classes. 24 hours of nothing but working on yourself to discover the internal blueprint which gives you access to your God power, because we all have the God power. Every single one of us has God power. And that doesn't mean that we can wave a magic wand and create a planet. That's not the God power I'm talking about. I'm talking about the blueprint over the control of your frequency and your vibration. I'm talking about the signal on the frequency that you're sending out into the quantum field, because the quantum field is a mirror. Some of you heard me talk about this recently, where I went into a private meeting with top secret clearance in private space back in 2018 at the Space Symposium in Colorado. In this meeting, some of the top execs in private space were sitting there, some of the top aerospace companies, and they were conversing. Some of the greatest physicists and scientists, quantum physicists, theoretical physicists, and they had mentioned this technology. It's not really technology because it already exists within the universe itself, but they had found a way to really, I would say, access it in a more directed way, okay? A more controlled environment, I should say. That's what I should say, a controlled environment. I can talk about it now because it's been declassified from PS, private space, and it's been now brought to the general public. A huge release went out about this just a month and a half ago. And now all the major news outlets are publishing articles on it. It's called the quantum mirror. This quantum mirror actually exists. So they have found a way to isolate this quantum field and take packets of data and put them on photons. And then they transmit those photons into the field. And the photons go in, but then they loop around and they come back, because the universe is a mirror, literally. When they come back, though, the data is different. They found a way to take a sneak peek or a peer into the future through this quantum mirror. Now, it's still being researched, still being studied, but what's happening is they have finally found a way to take a peek, or at least get data and information back from future outcomes. But you see, human beings have the ability to do the same thing. We can do that because we have the original quantum computer on our shoulders, and we're connected automatically into this quantum field. We are directly connected to the quantum field. We just aren't aware of it. And so what we have to do is realize our connectedness. Distance is an illusion. Separation is an illusion. Individuality is an illusion. There's only one. There's only one consciousness. And we're all receiving a dot number frequency of that conscious stream, because consciousness is not created in the brain. The brain is downloading a consistent stream of consciousness from higher dimensions. The mind connects to up to 11 dimensions. And theoretical physicists like Michio Kaku say that, according to their mathematical models, the universe itself is 11 dimensions. Anytime they try to use a mathematical model higher than 11 dimensions, it collapses back down to 11 for stability. So 11, 11. You see 11, 11 a lot? It's just a fractal of what really exists and what we're in and who we are and what we're connected to. And I bet on the esoteric level, each one of those dimensions in our mind and the universe connect like a chakra system going all the way up. Yeah. It gets much deeper. Seems that a lot of the things that we thought were all woo-woo and way out there are actually based on real science. I remember I did a workshop with Dr. Tara Swart, PhD. She's a neuroscientist at MIT, and she was my professor when I took classes there on applied neuroscience. And yes, they were in-person classes, not over the web. And she agreed. We had just a great relationship. Matter of fact, she had a book coming out. She sent me the book for review before she even put it into publishing on Amazon. That was a great honor. The Source was the name of that book. And since then, she's published several books. She's a New York Times bestselling author, great human being. But in this 6-hour class that we taught, I would bring the esoteric wisdom and the metaphysics, and she would bring the neuroscience behind it. We showed that science explains spirituality, and spirituality explains the science. The two we've been taught are separate, but in actuality, they actually go together. And when you can bring awareness to this and you can learn this, you can get a chance to peek behind the veil so that you can understand how manifestation actually works. What does it mean when I'm on this vibration and frequency scientifically? What's actually happening? Most people, if I walk up to them and ask them if they're an adult, or an older teen or up, what's 2 times 2? Oh, most people will say, oh, it's 4. And then I say, well, why is it 4? Now they've got to think for a minute. They've got to think, why is it 4? They initially don't have an immediate answer in most cases. Why? Because we have been taught in a very, very bad way. Our education system has taught us to memorize answers without solving problems. Hence, the world we live in is full of problems not being solved on a daily basis. And then we wonder why we're living in this complete swirl of entropy. Because we're not solving any problems. We're not bringing any solutions because we were never taught to bring solutions. That's why. So don't be down on yourself. You were never taught to bring solutions. You were only taught to memorize answers. We've become nothing more than a civilization full of parrots. We regurgitate information with no understanding, no discernment, no comprehension whatsoever. We just put the numbers on the grid and the times table. Remember, okay, if it matches here, then it's over here. This is the answer over here. This is the answer over here. And we just memorize all the answers. We have no idea why. But when you start figuring out the why, when you start solving problems to get to the answer, then you reach the next level consciously. This world, the people that run this world, they don't want problem solvers. They want parrots. They want somebody that can just regurgitate information like a robot. We have to stop being parrots. We need to start being thinkers, discerners, and comprehenders. We need to become solutions providers. We need to seek deeply the answers to problems and issues that we have in our lives. And if we can do that, everything is going to change. Okay? And this is how you switch up. So when you do your affirmations, when you're changing your vibration and getting on the right frequency, when you're projecting your energy into the universe, when you're speaking your cymatic frequencies into the universe and at others, you have a better level of understanding how and why everything is working when things go great and when things even go bad. You can hold yourself accountable and you can see yourself within this grand scheme of the universe itself and how you play your role in your part. But that's what it's all about. So most people are stuck in scarcity. They're stuck in a lack of abundance mindset. They are stuck in this belief that they're not enough and they're no good and nothing great ever happens to them and they suck and all these crazy self-limiting beliefs. But it's only because of the programming code that they've been given. Once they break free from that programming code and realize that you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you believe yourself to be. All right? Let me check the live chat, see what we got going on here. Let me check this live chat. Okay. All right. People are kicking in. All right. Make sure y'all click that like button. click the like button and make sure you share this video. Okay, share the video, click that like button. We're live on Billy Carson Official on YouTube right now. Several Billy Carson and Forbidden Knowledge Facebook pages, Twitch. We're also live on X, and I thought we probably should be live on Instagram. Let me check Instagram right quick. Let me see if IG is in the house. IG is in the house. What's going on, IG? Okay, y'all live. Beautiful. Excellent. I got IG is live. Okay. So I'm going to continue on. I got some more to talk about. All right. But I hope that what I've been talking about so far is resonating with you. And if it's resonating with you, I want you to drop a heart or some type of a statement in the live chat. Okay. If it's resonating with you. Okay. If it's resonating with you, let me see it in the live chat. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to pin something here in the live chat for Instagram. Okay. One thing I want to make sure, guys, that y'all understand is this is another reason. These kind of teachings is why I formed the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. The Forbidden Knowledge Academy is an amazing place. I'm not saying it just because, I'm the founder of it, but I look and read those comments every single day. I see the students posting their declaration forms. I see the students in there working hard on all the exercises that I've given them and posting the exercises and posting their results and answers to those exercises within the school community group that we have in the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. And I'm telling you, if you ever want to find your tribe and find a place where you belong around people moving in the same direction on the same vibration, and you want to make new friends that think like you do, you got to join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. The link is in the caption of this video. The link is in the live chat. The link is also in my my bio on the account. So if you're on X or Instagram or Twitch, click the link in my bio and join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. It's free. You can join right now for free trial. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out. Okay? You don't want to miss out because tonight we're going to do a special DNA activation at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss that. Okay? The link is in the live chat. You can click that link. And sometimes I ask a question to people when when they come to me and they're looking for mentorship and I'm talking to them, and I'll ask them, I'll say, if I followed you around for 24 hours and listened to how you speak about yourself, I can tell you exactly what your future looks like. Because when they come to me and they start talking, right away, I hear red flags within their conversation as to why they're not getting where they want to go. There's nothing against them. We all do it, right? It's just that they're not aware of it. When you become aware of it, then you can catch yourself. And I ask a couple of questions so I can just get them talking more, because now I'm just observing. I'm observing their thoughts. I'm observing their thought patterns. And I just kind of cue them in and I let them ride, let them go. And the more they talk, the more they reveal to me what their problem actually is. They don't understand that their words are a frequency in itself. Words are a frequency. When you're speaking, we say, oh, I speak English, I speak Spanish, I speak Portuguese, I speak Creole, I speak whatever. Actually, technically, for identification purposes of the cymatic vibration, okay, yes. Okay, yes, you do speak that language, whatever that language you do speak. So for identification purposes, okay? Thank you, my ancestors 310, for joining the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. I know you're having a great time in there. So what happens when we speak? So right now I'm speaking to you. Every time my vocal box, my vocal cords vibrate as air passes over them, it creates a cymatic frequency that can be measured on a computer as a cosine wave. You have the trough and you have the peak. And depending on the peaks and the troughs and how close or how far apart they are, depends on the vibration. So as I'm speaking, as I'm emitting these cymatic frequencies, these vibrations are coming out in particular cosine wave patterns, which then are really nothing more than encoded thoughts. So I'm taking my conscious thought, I'm transmitting it to this cymatic vibration box, and then I'm creating a quantum encrypted or a frequency encrypted a message via cymatics. And then I speak that. Now, when I speak it, it leaves out of my mouth, it rides over a little bit of atmosphere into this microphone. The microphone with the components on the inside take those vibrations and frequencies and convert them into zeros and ones, and then transmit them down fiber optic cables. The next thing you know, boom, you on your end are watching me speak, and those same encoded thoughts, which are now called speech, come out of your speaker or your earbuds. They go into your ear, the cochlea vibrates and begins to send that data into your mind. Your mind then decodes it, and they decode my thoughts. So you're decoding my actual consciousness. So you're not speaking a language, you're decoding information, okay? Just completely decoding. And this is the power. But again, it's why can this happen? Because we speak in frequencies. And they train your subconscious and instruct the quantum field what to reflect. The quantum field is an absolute mirror. We know this now in mainstream science. No way to get around it. It's not woo-woo, way out there information anymore. It's standard science, standard quantum mechanics. And in that case, we know it's real because the CIA, the FBI, and governments around the world have spent billions and billions of dollars researching this information to get the actual scientific results. And they liked the results so much that they actually employed people to utilize this same ability of acquiring information from the future and outside of space-time to get intel or intelligence and information on their competitors, on other governments and private documents and everything else you could think of. So someone has faith in this knowledge. If they do, then you have to, because they already know that it works. They've proved it already. Training your subconscious is going to teach you how to instruct the quantum field what to reflect. When you get to the point where you're understanding how your subconscious works and you are reprogramming it and you are emitting the frequencies that you desire out, because now you can predict what's going to come back. You might not be able to predict the exact time and moment, but you know that this energy that you put out, this frequency, and of course, this vocal, this cymatic frequency is going to send back as a mirror back at you the vibration that it went out on at some point in the future. You're going to rendezvous with that reality. And the power of the spoken word is so strong because you can actually alter future realities by speaking your conscious thought, depending on the vibration and frequency that you're at. Some of you heard me say this before, sometimes when people ask me what I do, of course, what I do for a living is such a huge list. I can sit down for 10 minutes explaining everything, or I can give them this simple explanation. I create ripples in the space-time continuum that alter future realities in the third dimension. That, my friend, is my job. That's my job. I create ripples in the space-time continuum that alter future realities in the third dimension. And we are all doing it. We just aren't aware of it. I am aware of it. I became completely aware of what's happening when I speak with intention, when I act on that intention, and the result that I'm actually going to get. So you can begin to pre-think outcomes. You can actually foresee different things coming and arising on the horizon of your timeline. Could this be what the prophets of old used to do? Could it be that they were just utilizing all of our natural gifts, but most people weren't aware that we had that gift? Was it that maybe they were able to potentially see future outcomes based on the energy, the frequency, and vibration that the people around them in power were putting out? And all they had to do was hyper focus on the potential future outcome and all the results, like a domino effect, that this energy was going to bring, to see what the potential future could look like. You see? All of a sudden, it doesn't sound like magic anymore. It sounds like real science. The more you think about it this way, the more we speak on it this way, the more we apply true, valid logic to it this way, it starts to sound very normal. And that's the goal. I want you to understand that these aren't superpowers. They're normal powers. They only appear super because you're tapping into what's natural and what should be standard, but most people don't have that ability because they're unaware. So for them, you look like a superhero. I was talking this weekend at the Quest for Ancient Civilizations in Scottsdale, Arizona. Shout out to Robert Dakota for inviting me to his amazing conference. And while I was on stage, I was talking about, somehow I got on the topic of fitness. And I can do, 100 push-ups. I can bench press 225 pounds. I can dumbbell press on an incline dumbbell press 75, 80 pounds. Used to be a little bit more, but I'm still gaining my weight back from last year's illness with pneumonia. But that's still pretty damn good. Most people 10 years, 15 years younger than me can't do that. I just walked 118 miles in the Sahara Desert when I took people on tour to Egypt, and that included climbing in shafts, some 60, 70 meters in 70-degree inclines. It's a lot of work, a lot of walking, a lot of climbing and bending and bear crawling all over the place in the desert of all places. And people around me said, "Man, you're just incredible. You're a superhuman." That's just the bare bones minimum. I'm bench pressing my body weight 10 times. I'm walking, which is a natural thing for a hominid, miles. And staying in shape, doing fitness, doing exercise, but nothing outrageous, nothing over the top. Like, I'm not bench pressing 400 pounds. But because most of the people aren't in even that level of fitness, I appear to be superhuman. Okay? I'm giving you a metaphor that you can understand. It works the same way in everything. Your spiritual gifts are actually pretty standard. So you can take all the woo-woo and amazement out of it. No, it's just this is my normal thing every single day. This is how I'm supposed to be. This is like normal. I was born this way. That's the mindset you got to bring on. I'm not special. The other people just aren't aware that they have these gifts. We all get gifts, but some people don't open the package. You just happen to open the package, right? And when you open the package, you tap into what's naturally already there. Something you were born with. It's a God-given talent. It's programmed into our avatar bio. This is who we are, what we are. We have these capabilities. We're fully ingrained in this quantum field. We're tapped in. And every time you speak limitation, things like, I can't, it's too hard, I'm broke, you just do nothing but reinforce the loop. You reinforce it, you lock it in so tight with the universe goes, okay, say less. You're broke. You can't. And it's going to be hard. And then you move on with the victim mindset. Why is this always happening to me? It's happening to you because you programmed the quantum field and told the field this is what you are and what you want. So it gave it back to you. See? You have to watch that negative self-talk. You have to watch out for the self-sabotage. Because when you speak as a version of you who already has it, you begin to shift into different timelines. If I can envision a potential future outcome that I desire for myself, and I now begin to take action steps behind that vision and that conscious thought, I'm fracturing my timeline instantly. The moment I have that conscious thought and that vision, and I begin to move towards that vision with action, the timeline that I was on, and I mean was, fractures. And I shift into a completely separate reality, and I move on in a different direction within this parallel universe. The one that I was on, it still exists. But this part of my quantum body is no longer realizing or aware of that timeline. That timeline moves off in a parallel reality. While I now just move off in a different direction because I had a conscious thought and I took action behind it. Because I'm now speaking the version of myself that already has it. And I'm moving in that direction because now I'm acting, I'm taking action along with those conscious thoughts. It's about becoming aware of the stories that you tell about yourself and starting to program your reality with conscious language. And it's about catching yourself, you know? You catch yourself. You say something that you know is out of the frequency that you want to be, and that frequency is not serving you. You stop. Let me rephrase that and state it differently. Restate the statement again in a more positive, high vibrational way. Catch yourself, stop, rephrase. You can catch your own thoughts before you even speak. And if you speak, if it slips out, you can stop yourself, rephrase, and get back to the right vibration. Okay? That's how you do it. And if you continue to do that, you're going to find, wow, so many things around you are going to shift. So many opportunities are going to open up. So many things that you weren't aware of or couldn't perceive before, you can perceive now. They had been right in front of your eyes, right underneath your nose the whole time, and you weren't even aware of it, simply because you didn't have the awareness that I'm giving you right now. These are just some of the things. This is a sliver of what we teach inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. This is the online academy that I started about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's doing phenomenal. We have over 1,200 incredible leaders in there supporting each other, uplifting, helping, guiding, and of course, my coaching team and myself mentoring you along the way. There's a link being dropped in the live chat. You should join the academy. Doesn't cost you any money tonight. It's a free trial. And guess what? Tonight, I'm doing a guided DNA activation. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a guided 432 hertz DNA activation at 9:00 p.m. in the academy live. You can only see it if you join the academy. You have no excuse. It's not going to cost you any money. You have zero excuse. At 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, approximately 15 minutes from now, I'll be live in the academy with all of our incredible leaders. And to start my mentoring this evening, we're going to tap in and we're going to do a quantum DNA healing meditation. We're going to activate the DNA tonight. Again, this is another quantum meditation that I've done for years, and it's all based on neuroscience, all of it. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to click that link being dropped in the live chat. click the link in the caption of this video, or click the link in my bio if you're on X or Twitch or Instagram. There's a link in my bio. Join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy and be ready and sitting down and ready to go into a DNA activated meditation at 432 Hertz at 9 p.m. Eastern in approximately 15 minutes. All right. I'll see y'all there very, very soon. I'm going to go get ready. All right. Go get me another glass of water, and I'll be right back in about 15 minutes inside the academy. That's in a whole nother location. So click that link in the live chat, and I'll see you at 9 o'clock. All right. Peace.